Nigerian budget estimate for 2018 is 8.612 trillion naira, which is 16% higher than the current year budget. While addressing the joint session of the National Assembly, President Muhammadu Buhari said 2018 predicated on an oil benchmark of $45 per barrel, with the oil projection of 2.3 million barrels per day, an exchange rate at 305 naira to dollar, and GDP to growth ratio of 3.5%. The budget, which is christened the budget of consolation, is the highest since Nigeria returned back to democratic rule. While reeling out the details of the budget, the president stated that expected revenue for the 2018 fiscal year is 11.9 trillion naira, with expected revenue from oil and gas estimated at 6 trillion naira. Total projected non-oil revenue is placed at 4.165 trillion naira.
Total federally collectible revenue is estimated at 11.98 trillion naira in 2018, such that the three tiers of government shall receive about 12% more revenue in 2018 than the 2017 estimate. Of the amount, the sum of 6.387 trillion naira is expected to be realized from oil and gas sources. Total receipts from the non-oil sector are projected at 5.597 trillion naira. The federal government's estimated total revenue is 6.607 trillion naira in 2018, which is about 30% more than the 2017 target. As we pursue our goal of revenue diversification, non-oil revenues will become a larger share of total revenues. In 2018, we project our oil revenues of 2.442 trillion naira and non-oil as well as other revenues of 4.165 trillion naira. Non-oil and other revenues resources of 4.165 trillion naira include several items, including share of companies' income tax of several 109.427 billion naira.
He, however, told the lawmaker that 2018 is expected to be a year of better outcome, urging the National Assembly to continue to support economic policies of its government. He stated that his administration has made provision in the 2018 budget for oversight of the Ogoni cleanup. Senate President Bukola Saraki, in his opening speech at the joint section, urged the executive to cooperate with the legislature for this administration to succeed. He appealed to President Buhari to continue to lobby the lawmakers, assuring that the National Assembly will work with the executive team to bring out the best out of the budget.
I would like to advise and caution that there is no better time in this administration than now for a vigorous drive for a good working relationship between the executive and the legislature. The early passage of the 2018 budget will depend on this good working relationship. The passage of important executive bills that will improve the ease of doing business is also dependent on this. So, Mr. President, with all sense of responsibility, the 469 members in this chamber are your true partners that will ensure the success of your administration in achieving your goals and objectives. So I will appeal to continue to lobby them, close ranks, and let them work for you. They have shown in the past that they can work for you, and they are ready to do so. Let me assure Mr. President that in considering 2018 budget proposal, the National Assembly will work with your team.
Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, in his close remark, said the presentation of the budget, which is earlier than December, is a welcome development, adding that the early passage of the budget will be observed.
Let me place it on record that the 2018 budget preparation suffered from inadequate consultations between the MDS and various oversighting committees of the National Assembly. Consequently, one can only hope and pray that it does not lead to delay in consideration and passage of the budget. May I also use this opportunity to congratulate Mr. President for leading Nigeria out of recession. Although recession has technically ended, most Nigerian families are still struggling. As a government, we must do all within our powers to hasten their long nights of panic and fear into a glorious morning. We must never allow this nation to slide into recession, not now, not ever again. We cannot therefore discountenance policy consistency and synergy between all stakeholders if we must sustain economic growth and development.
The 2018 budget proposal is the third one presented by President Buhari after his inauguration in May 2015. From Abuja, Muyiwa Bamdele reporting. Nigerian Senate has called for abolition of excess crude account (ECA). Upper Chamber also requested the executive to act in conformity with the Section 80(1)(4) of the Nigerian Constitution as amended in its revenue receipt and expenditure. The excess crude account was established in 2004 and its objective is primarily to protect planned budget against shortfall due to volatile crude oil prices. The account was used by successful governments to save oil revenue above a base amount derived from the defined benchmark price. A motion sponsored by Senator Rose Oko and 42 other senators described the excess crude account as an illegality and a drain pipe. Senator Rose noted that the ECA is alien to the Nigerian Constitution or any other known law of the land that is not in tandem with Section 80 of the Nigerian Constitution.
The Senate is deeply saddened by the continued impunity of the ECA and its discretionary operation in contravention of the 1999 Constitution, creating room for imprudence, recklessness, and arbitrariness. Very concerned that this is one veritable source of huge revenue leakage in the country. The Senate notes that the ongoing amendment of Section 162 of the 1999 Constitution as amended is expected to cure the problem of savings for the nation that is rooted in the Constitution. Believes that before that is done, the nation cannot continue to operate an appreciable quantum of revenue arbitrarily outside the law with no checks and balances whatsoever.
In his contribution, Senator Mao Nwabua noted that the model of democracy which Nigeria operates is hinged on rule of law. He lamented that ECA is being operated arbitrarily without enabling law.
ECA, as we know, has no legal backing and is not an index for revenue allocation. It is very clear the constitution we operate, which is the grand norm, in Section 80, Section 80 and Section 160 was clear that every revenue, every money should be paid into the revenue federation account. And as I speak today, who determines how much that goes into excess crude? It's just been handled by the executive or the staff of NMPC or whatever without a law or backing of this National Assembly. Because it's important that we should stop this arbitrariness.
Senator Slima Nkui from Kaduna State on his part called on the Senate to find a way of regulating the excess crude account rather than totally scrapping the account.
Fallacy is the inability of the executive to show as opening balance in the coming year budget of whatever has been collected and that has accrued in the excess crude account into the opening balance of revenue for the budget that is to follow for that year. We all will agree there seem to be silence. There seem to be some secrecy in the collection of such funds. Hence, the reason why issues like this will definitely come up.
Senator Atta Idoko, who also lent his voice to the debate, described what is going on with the ECA as illegality, adding that money paid into the excess crude account are being spent without appropriation.
As it is, Mr. President, there's no regulation to the excess crude account. The governors see the excess crude account as Christmas bonus, like Father Christmas. Anytime there is time to share excess crude, they run to Abuja and they also don't appropriate the excess crude. They just spend it as they will. Mr. President, this is the biggest slush fund in this country. The excess crude account is just a slush fund where it's just spent according to the whims and caprices of some people.
From National Assembly, Abuja, Uyobamdele reporting.
Buhari Friends Organization Network has called on President Muhammad Buhari to, as a matter of urgency, integrate young and dynamic men and women of honor into his cabinet and other agencies of government to help him deliver on the promises he made to Nigerians during his campaign in 2015. National coordinator of the group, St. Athanasius Okun, who made the call in Abuja at the group's 55th assembly, said there is need for the president to remove any of his aid and chief executive of government agencies that have negative controversies as well as corruption allegations and replace them with more credible Nigerians.
Yes, it's a resolution that we have taken that, yes, Mr. President had promised for the expansion of the executive, which is a good idea. You know, even the society is dynamic, so it has to be like that. There will be changes. So, but in our own case, we say good to avoid some kind of disagreement and acrimony that might be unnecessary politically, which we can emphasize to, bringing old people and mix with new. You understand what I mean? So we advocated that the best thing to do is a clean slate. Then the brand new set of people come. Take a case study of footballing. If you bring new people, you see how they do it. They always want to play and make a difference. So we are of the opinion that, yes, they have spent 2 years and it should be enough for other people to also come and try. Because you have 180 million Nigerian people, isn't it? Yeah. They are very brilliant people. You have all the graduates you can think of that can come and do surprise in governance. Yes, so we simply say the old cabinet should be given a way out, then thank them for service rendered to the nation. Then let new people also come on board, and you'll see wonders.
The President is aware of that, and I'm sure he's going to do that. He's aware of that. It's been something that it's been a source of worry for him too. So I'm very sure he's going to work on that. More women will be injected into the system. More young people will be injected into the system to put vibrancy back into the system.
The group, while commending the president on the final disengagement of former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Babaji Lawal, described the new SGF boss Mustafa as a humble leader with good attributes and orientation.
Our own is to thank Mr. President for responding positively to the yearnings of the Nigerian masses who wanted him to take action in regard to the suspended SGF. And that has been done, and that is what we bedevil ourselves with. We also use the opportunity, very importantly, to congratulate Barrister Boss Mustafa, the new Secretary to the Federal Government. And we have mentioned it, there is a square peg in a square hole. It's one of the few appointments in this dispensation that every Nigerian is so happy about. In view of that, we address you today.
Ms. Okon also reacted on the presentation of the 2018 budget by the President to the National Assembly noting that the President's early submission of the budget is a welcome development.
A better economy can be managed from the beginning. Planning is all what we do. If you plan in good time, certainly you will execute your plans effectively. So for him to present the budget today, I think it's early enough for the National Assembly to also work on it and see to the approval of the budget, so that by next year, early enough, the President can go straight and start the implementation of the budget.
In Abuja, LM Chukwemeka reports.
Lovely place, right?
Yes.
What's wrong? You don't look happy.
Take a look around. Why can't my hotel be like this?
I knew something was wrong, but I've got solution.
Solution? What?
Nanet.
Nanet?
Nanet offers you design solutions, building plans and construction, furnishing and equipping, financing, management, audit services, and many more services for a better hospitality business. Nanet, service with a smile.
Nigeria is said to have lost an estimated sum of 127 billion naira to cybercrime within one fiscal year. President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, doled out this information in Abuja at a 3-day conference on IT and cybercrime aimed at reviewing the Cybercrime Act. Senate President, represented by the Deputy Minority Whip, Senator Philip Aduda, said that the effort to review Nigeria's economy must necessarily include the countermeasure to minimize losses and shore up cybersecurity architecture to better repel attack.
It is indeed ironic that while internet penetration in Nigeria is tentative at best, hovering at just over the 90 million people mark, a percentage of 47.7%, internet facilitated crime seems to be growing. Our cyber borders are very porous. Indeed, some $450 million was lost to 3,500 successful cyber attacks over a 1-year period. Roughly 70% of the overall hacking attempts in the country, estimates suggest that the hole created in the economy by cybercrime amounts to 0.08% of GDP, a loss of about 127 billion naira. This, needless to say, is unsustainable. To reason, therefore, that efforts to revive our economy must necessarily include countermeasures to minimize these losses and shore up our cybersecurity architecture to better repel attacks.
Earlier in his address, Chairman of the Senate Committee on ICT and Cybercrime, Senator Abdul Fattah Buhari, representing Oyo North, said the current law on cybercrime in Nigeria need to be reviewed to meet the standard in the developing country in order to prepare the country for pending danger.
Most people did not even know that we have a cybercrime law. It was signed on 27th of May 2015, just 2 days before the president. But the law was very, very scanty. We want to amend the law, and you cannot amend the law without bringing in experience, so that with this, you'll be able to make the law very, very rich. In the last couple of months, you can now see various attacks from the developed countries against each other. If it happens at that level, suppose it happened today, and it's one of the reasons why we say, look, Let's gather people together. Let's get the opinion of the expert. It will enrich the bill we are sponsoring at the National Assembly so that we can have a solid law for cyber security attack in the country.
Vice Chairman of the committee, Senator Foster Ogola, also emphasized the need to develop a national curriculum and digital curriculum on ICT and cybercrime.
The Senate is aware of the need to develop ICT, manpower building in this country. We need intellectual capital development for ICT sector because ICT has become a foundation of development. There is no paradigm shift in management, in educational sets, in industrialization that does not have an inclusion of ICT or ICT driving that revolution in that sector. Be it agriculture, be it engineering, and that engineering in several aspects of engineering, be it even literature, even theater arts. You find that ICT is the backbone because all those lights you are seeing are ICT.
On his part, the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Abayomi Gabriel Olorunishakin, who was represented by Major General Ademo Saliu, Director Defense Communication, also spoke on the need for effective enforcement of cybercrime law to deter and penalize cyber mischief.
ICT, as you know, cyber security, as you know, is an all-pervasive phenomenon. It is even more relevant to military operations. And you know that the command and control system of the military is based entirely on communication. And anything that disrupts communication will adversely affect the performance of the armed forces, no doubt, in operations. And the Defense Headquarters is taking it very, very seriously. To that extent, the Chief of Defense Staff has, put some efforts in place to put the ICT facilities in place in Defense Headquarters to drive that process. The Space Command of the Armed Forces has been given that responsibility.
It will be recalled that former President Goodluck Jonathan had on 15 May 2015 signed into law a bill for an act to provide for prohibition and punishment for electronic fraud and electronic transfer of fund crime in Nigeria. From Abuja, Muyiwa Bamdele reporting.
Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai has promised to pay 2 months allowance old soldiers of the Nigerian Army involved in Operation Lafia Dole. In a statement signed by Army spokesperson Sam Usman, the Army Chief said the Ministry of Defense will facilitate the payment this week to soldiers on the front line of the war against terrorist group Boko Haram in the northeast part of the country. The announcement came as a reaction to a recent letter an unnamed soldier involved in the operation wrote to President Muhammadu Buhari to make complaint allegations against the military leadership. The soldier had complained to the president about the inadequate welfare that soldiers are exposed to, particularly in respect to feeding, and also revealed that soldiers are owed 3 months of operation allowance, forcing them to borrow money from civilians.